The bottom line is this is a time that all Americans should come together and feel and mourn what happened. Violence, which affects so many different people of so many different political persuasions, is an affliction of America. And coming together is what we ought to be doing, not pointing fingers of blame.
This moment requires leadership that brings the American people together as opposed to trying to further divide us. Political violence in any form against any American is unacceptable, should be denounced by everyone, and moving forward, we have to figure out a better way to come together, not as Democrats or Republicans, but as Americans. This is a moment where all of us have to come together, not as Democrats or Republicans, as blacks or whites or Latinos or Asians, as Americans. We need to come together as Americans.
First reaction of everybody ought to be to say, this is a horrible thing, we ought to come together, and not try to seek political advantage from it. I ask unanimous consent the quorum be dispensed. I was shocked and horrified to learn about the murder of Charlie Kirk yesterday afternoon. All of us in the Senate pray for Charlie's family, his wife, his kids. The loss they feel today is incomprehensible. We thank all of the first responders who were on the scene yesterday, who continue to work with the murderer, until the murderer is brought to justice. We also pray for all those hurt yesterday in another act of senseless gun violence in Evergreen High School in Colorado, where 2 students were critically injured at the hands of a lone gunman. We pray for their recovery. And these tragedies are a constant reminder to all of us the immense destruction of gun violence and of inaction. No matter your political views, yesterday's attack was heinous, cowardly, and ought to make everyone sick to their stomachs. Political violence is the enemy of democracy, and we have an obligation on all sides to fight it at every turn. We must condemn it whenever it arises, wherever it arises, including this heinous murder of Charlie Kirk. But also the political motivated shootings of House members at a baseball practice, and the politically motivated murders of Melissa Hortman and her husband earlier this year in Minnesota, as well as the attacks on former Speaker Pelosi and her husband, and the murder of business executives and the storming of the U.S. Capitol and so many other incidents of politically motivated barbarity. These attacks are attacks on all of us, all of us. And if we fail to quell the fires of political violence, regardless of where it comes from, it will become the norm. There should be no finger pointing, because this is an attack on our democracy itself. And if we fail to quell those fires, our democracy will be doomed. We can disagree with our ideas, but not with weapons and bloodshed and killing. And so, we mourn the murder of Charlie Kirk and pray for his family. We pray for those injured in Colorado, and we must work together to bring political violence and the scourge of gun violence to a quick end.
Brooks.